Hi everyone, and welcome back to Truth Medicinals. My name is Melanie, and today we are going to be making my Honey Vinegar Hair Rinse. Now, I've been making my own hair care for about 10 years now, and it's really wonderful because I know all of the ingredients that go into it. I know what's going on my skin, I know what's getting onto my body, and it's good to know, and I can also adapt it if I'm in a different area or climate, or it's a different time of year. I can change my recipes depending on when it is, so that I can just adapt it to my surroundings. It's really great, but there are some challenges. One of the challenges is that I live in an area that has hard water. Hard water causes a lot of buildup onto your hair, and it causes buildup on your skin, kind of everything. You might notice you get scale or lime scale on things when you have a hard water area. One of the things that I notice is that my hair has a tendency to kind of clump like this when I haven't done my hair rinse for a while. Another thing is that I'll get kind of a gray buildup on my brushes, and that's all just the hard water. I'm not sure if it's an additive that's put into the water or if it's just the dissolved minerals that causes it, but either way, it's something you end up having to deal with hard water. It might be less noticeable if you're using a chemical shampoo or conditioner because they probably have additives in there so that, this doesn't happen. But when you're going in on your own, sometimes you gotta adapt and be creative. So we're gonna make this honey vinegar hair rinse. I'm gonna go through all the different ingredients, talk a little bit about why we might want to add one thing or another and what the purpose of them are, and just have some fun. I'll let you know ways that you can adapt this to yourself. But first things first, we're going to get some water boiling. So we're going to get about 4 cups of water, and this water is so that we can dissolve our honey. So you want to get it really nice and hot. We're also going to basically be making a tea with the different powders that we're adding in there. So we're going to do about 4 cups of water, put it to boil, and then we're going to add in our various powders and stuff like that, and I'll go through each one as it's adding in. So first step, get some filtered water. I use a sink filter for my water. You can use just plain tap water, up to you, whichever you want to use. Because I do have hard water, the sink filter helps a little bit. And you don't have to have hard water just to use this recipe. You can use it if you just want to try out a new kind of hair revitalizing thing, or even for the skincare aspect of it. It's really great for that. So we're just going to fill this up, and we're going to put it in a little stock pot. You can use the same ones that you use for food and cooking for these recipes because all the ingredients are completely edible, which is one of the great things about making your own hair care and things like that out of really good solid ingredients. It's safe to consume. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this water started heating up, and we're going to get together our different powders that are going to go into the water as it heats. So, always have a good spoon to stir with. So we're going to get some heat going on that burner, pour our 4 cups of water in, and get those started heating up. To that, we are going to add 6 tablespoons of honey. The honey is really good for your skin, and you can use just kind of whatever kind of honey you have around. I'm just using this raw honey. You don't necessarily have to use raw honey. You can use a filtered honey. It's just the honey has compounds in it that are antibiotic, so they're really good for helping to deal with acne, dandruff, things like that. And the honey is also very soothing for your skin. So, not the easiest jar to open though. So we're going to do 6 tablespoons of this, and we're just going to go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright. Give that a good stir. And there we go. Got our honey in there. And one more for good measure. Some of those weren't full enough. Alright. That takes care of the honey. Next thing we want to do is our different powders. So you don't want it burning, you just want it heating up to a nice boil. So next thing we're going to add in is our various powders, and again, just like last time, recipe is going to be down in the comments section below, and you can follow this on your own. I'll also have a little bit of information in that section about these different ingredients, what they're good for, what they're not so good for, what you might want to switch out in case you're trying to adapt it to yourself. You have, different skin sensitivities, all that kind of stuff, allergies. So I'll try to help you be creative so you can make this your own. But anyways, moving on. Our first powder we're going to do is 3 tablespoons of powdered ginger. So powdered ginger is another one that's great for your skin. It's really good. Smells wonderful too. And it also has some antibiotic properties, things like that, that will help you just kind of make sure that you're not letting this stuff go bad, because this is going to be shelf stable, not forever. This is like, you could probably get like 4 or 5 months shelf stable, maybe a little bit more, but you don't want to push it too much. Anyways, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of dried ginger. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3. And we're just heating this up enough to incorporate. You don't want to bring it to a rolling boil, because that will actually destroy some of the phytochemicals that you want to stay around. And when I say phytochemicals, that's literally just the term for chemicals that come naturally packaged in plant material. Alright, our next addition is going to be a couple of tablespoons of turmeric. Turmeric is a Southeast Asian plant, or originally a Southeast Asian plant, but it's actually been spread all throughout the Pacific. I use it because I learned about it through Hawaiian medicine studies, and in Hawaii we call it olena. So olena, it is a rhizome which kind of looks like a root, but it's actually a stem that grows underground. And turmeric has anti-inflammatory, antifungal properties, so it's really, really good if you have any redness or itching on your scalp. Turmeric will really help with that. However, you notice that beautiful bright color right there? How yellow and vibrant it is? This will stain everything. It does wash out fairly easily, but I certainly have, the collars of a few shirts, and when I get it on me, it just stains things. It also has stained my pillowcase on occasion because of this hair rinse. So, if you're like, I can't handle the stains, don't worry about it. Leave this one out, totally fine. Or just put less than I do. I'm gonna put about 1 tablespoon. If you're like, I'm worried about it staining things, put a teaspoon in, you'll be fine. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon in of the olena. And that should be good for just keeping this nice and keeping it from going bad, but also it's going to have some benefits for your hair and for your skin. It's good for acne. People do turmeric face masks, which do dye your skin kind of yellow, but they're really, really good for getting rid of acne. So every once in a while you can just do a little spot treatment, a little bit of turmeric, make a paste out of the powder and put it onto, if you have like a little, pimple or something like that. Great use of the turmeric. The next thing we're going to do is 3 tablespoons of this powder called Amla. Amla is used, from what I've heard about it, in Ayurvedic medicine. It's a really good source of vitamin C, and the Amla powder is used for hair care. So I think, if I remember correctly, Amla is supposed to strengthen your hair, like, strengthen the roots of it and stuff like that, and prevent breakage. It's also used to promote hair growth, which is always nice. I'm one of those people whose hair grows super, 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 super slow. About 10 years ago, I shaved my head for a friend who had cancer, And this is 10 years worth of growth right here. I've trimmed it a few times, but this is 10 years of growing out my hair, so yeah, it grows slow. This does help. It's not, the most perfect thing in the world, but it certainly helps. So we're going to do 3 nice big tablespoons of Amla powder. And Amla can sometimes be contaminated with heavy metals, so make sure that you buy your Amla from a company that's certified and that checks their stock and does independent certification to be free of those heavy metals, because you don't want them in your skin, hair, etc. And you can also take Amla internally. People do take it as a vitamin C supplement. It's not my favorite taste-wise, but it is good for you, so has its benefits. Alright. Now that we got that in, the last thing that I'm going to add is a little bit of salt. I'm adding in the salt for preservative effect, and also because salt is another one of those ones that's just going to kind of prevent, acne. It's going to be good for your scalp, for your hair, for your skin. You know how it is, you go to the beach and afterwards your skin feels real nice once you've rinsed it off. Of course, not if you're sitting there all salty and drying in the sun. But we're going to use salt because of its beneficial properties, and I use a Himalayan Pink Salt. I use this one just mostly because I think that it's got a lot of nutrients and minerals that are good for your hair and your skin. So we're going to do 3 tablespoons of salt. You can use just whatever salt you want. I would avoid, though, the iodized salt because there's a lot of other stuff going into this, and you just don't really want iodine in the mix. It might react poorly with other chemicals that are in there. I don't know for sure, but I would just say avoid it. So there we go, 1, 2, and 3 nice big tablespoons of salt. All right. And it is really good to keep in mind the fact that I do want to mineralize my hair, my scalp, my skin. And so keeping an eye to that and thinking about it as you work is a really great idea. All right, there we go. We got this started. I'm gonna let that simmer for a little while. All right, everybody, that's all done cooking now, so we're ready to get started on the rest of our project. And just for your reference, the consistency that you're looking for is gonna be kind of about like a latte. I don't know if you can see in there, a little bit of that. So it's a little bit thicker than just the plain water. And remember, when you're heating this up, you are not heating to try and reduce the amount of liquid there. You're just heating it enough so that the honey and the salt will incorporate easily into your water, and so that you can kind of get the powders to release a little bit of their chemicals into the water. And when I say chemicals, I mean phytochemicals, not lab-made chemicals. But what we're going to do from here is we're going to pour this into a nice big mixing bowl, and we're going to start to add in our extra ingredients. And we're pretty close to done here. Just need to add in a little bit of the vinegars and the other things and scents and things to just, punch it up a little bit. So you can see when I pour what the consistency looks like. And about that color too. You might end up with a little bit of chunky bits. I did little chunks in the bottom of the pan, and that was because I forgot to stir as I was adding in my powders, which is a good rule for you to not forget. So what we're going to do is I'm just kind of mushing up those powdery bits, and they'll get incorporated later on. I'm actually going to strain all of this so that I don't end up with bits of powder in my hair. So I'll just deal with those when we're straining them out. All right. Next step is we're going to add the rest of our water. So in total, you're going to have 12 cups of water in here. I already put 4. So now I'm going to do 4 more cups of water, and then 4 more after that. So we're just going to fill it up, and this is just kind of stretching it. You don't really need it to be super, super concentrated. In fact, because you're using stuff like vinegar, which is acetic acid, you don't want it to be like just plain vinegar you're putting on your head. You want it to be watered down a little bit, and that is just to prevent any sort of adverse skin reactions, especially if you have sensitive skin. But it's also because you don't want this to be too strong and to like basically kind of strip your hair of all its oils. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add 8 cups of water to the 4 we already boiled. And then we're gonna start in on things like our apple cider vinegar, our regular vinegar, you can use both, lemon juice, and some essential oils and some other ingredients to make sure that this keeps for us, but also just make it a little more effective. All right, that is a well-watered mixture, and the extra water will help you as far as dissolving the ingredients in there. And before I forget, we are also putting a little bit of extra water into the saucepan, and that is to get out all the little bits that would be left behind. You will notice some yellow coloration, courtesy of the turmeric, on your saucepan. That should wash off with just some plain dish soap. It comes off pretty easily. If you're having any trouble getting it off, I suggest grabbing a little bit of baking soda and giving a quick scrub. Baking soda is great for cleaning all of your pots and pans anyways, so it's no harm. And we're just gonna pour all that bit into there. And it's good to have this extra water. Water's the universal solvent, so things will dissolve in it quite easily, except for oil. And we're just gonna give that a good mix, make sure that it's all nice and incorporated. And now we're gonna start adding in our vinegars. So the first one we're going to do is apple cider vinegar, right here. I like to use the raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar. You sometimes will get little SCOBY type things forming in your mixes if you do use raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar, but it just has more of the components that are really good for your skin and hair, and so I like to use it. And the apple cider vinegar is great for anti-acne. You can use it if you've got sunburns. You can use it just to help to clean out your hair. If you're doing like a rinse, mixing this in water, if you want to do like a super simple version of this, that's an effective way to use it. And we're going to put 2 cups worth of apple cider vinegar in there. Really want to use it all up, use a lot in there. So we're just going to 1 cup. And then, looks like I might be running out of this one, but thankfully I always have an extra in the storage. So there we go, that is 1 and 1/4 cup. I'll be right back with the 2 cups. So I try to keep as many of my supplies on hand as possible because you never know when you are going to decide to do a project and need a little bit extra. All right, and there is cup number 2. And I'm not being super precise on this. It's not like a chemistry experiment where it has to go exactly according to the right molecular combination. So you have a little bit of flexibility here. You can get a little creative. If you tend to have really sensitive skin, you're gonna want to probably take down the amount of vinegar by about half. But I do have sensitive skin for some things, don't have sensitive skin when it comes to vinegar, so I use it quite liberally in this. But the apple cider vinegar, it's not so tough on your skin. The white vinegar that I'm going to add in there, I put it in there because I have really hard water and it just drives me nuts when I get all this gunk in it, in my hair. So I put in the white vinegar because it's a little bit more powerful, a little bit stronger, and it doesn't have as much of the apple cider vinegar smell. Some people hate the smell of apple cider vinegar. Personally, I don't mind it, but I have some friends that do, so I try to tone it down by using this. I also use the essential oils to help with the wonderful apple cider vinegar smell because let's be fair, it's not everybody's favorite thing in the world, and that is totally okay. So for the regular vinegar, we're gonna do about a 1/4 cup of that. So I'm just gonna pour a 1/4 cup in, and you can get these nice big things in bulk. All right, there we go, about a 1/4 cup. I ended up pouring closer to a 1/2 cup, but again, kind of playing loose and fast with the rules here, so it's not that big a deal. Alrighty, next thing we're gonna add in is a little bit of lemon juice. I like lemon juice because it's really good when you have somewhat lighter hair like mine, and it has a really nice smell to it. It's another good cleanser. However, if you work out in the sun a lot, you don't want to get a lot of lemon juice on your skin because it can make your skin more sensitive to the sun. I do a lot of outdoors work, but I always keep myself covered pretty well, and I don't mind if I get a little bit lighter hair from going out in the sun, which can happen with the lemon. So we're gonna give it a good mix up first, and we'll probably do about a 1/2 cup of this. So we'll go 1/2 cup, and there we go. All right. So 1/2 cup of the lemon on in. And now we get to the fun part where we get to make this smell really nice, and that's adding the essential oils. So I have a mixture. It's a pretty involved mix. There's a lot of essential oils that I put in here. I don't put a whole lot of each essential oil, but I do overall end up putting a lot in there, just numbers wise, as far as like the number of different essential oils. I've tested out the smell. It smells really nice. It's not quite feminine or masculine. It's kind of an in-between one, but I will let you know what you might want to leave off or put in more of if you want it to kind of lean more feminine or masculine as far as the scents are going. One other thing we're going to add in is some GSE. This is a preservative. Keeps this from going bad. It's also antifungal, which is good if you are prone to dandruff. Antifungal things help with dandruff because dandruff is generally caused by a fungus. I've noticed that hard water can actually exacerbate that, so I personally do a lot of work to prevent having the hard water be in my hair and my scalp for too long, and I do this rinse to just cut down on how bad that dandruff can be, because the hard water that build up that gunk creates a perfect habitat for any kind of fungus. And if you live in Hawaii like I do, you're in a humid environment. Fungus loves humidity. So it's good stuff, GSE, and people do take it internally. I personally don't, but I'm not opposed to it. So again, all these things that I'm putting in here, almost all of them you can actually ingest, which makes it really nice because, you know, you're in the shower, you're getting stuff all over your skin, your face, your nose, etc. Much better when it's stuff that you could actually ingest. So I do about 100 drops of this one. So we're going to do, in this case I'm pouring it because there was about 100 drops left in here, and the dropper part on this broke, and also I don't want you to have to sit there while I count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 100. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to show you the essential oils, but I'm not actually going to make you sit through me pouring in each and every one of them because it's another one where you're going to have to count each and every drop, so I'm not going to drive you nuts with that. The amount of drops of each one is going to be in the comment section. So what we've got is lavender. I love lavender, relaxing, it's great for your skin, it's super soothing, especially if you have if you're prone to redness, anything like that. If you're itchy, lavender's great for that. Next we have some peppermint. Peppermint is to brighten up your scalp, bring some blood to the surface, just basically kind of to help to revitalize your scalp. And bringing blood to the surface of your skin will also help if you have any problems with hair loss. Next we have a little bit of rosemary. Rosemary has a wonderful smell, and it's actually been proven that taking rosemary essential oil and putting it around you when you study and when you take tests can improve your memory. So that's a really cool thing with rosemary. It smells great. It's a relaxing and nice invigorating smell. I'm gonna add in a little bit of sage. This one is a cleansing one. It's another one of those ones that like just is kind of, you know, a relaxing scent. You just really feel like pampered when you put some sage in there. And this is one that sometimes people have skin sensitivities too, so if you are sensitive to something like that, then maybe leave it out. But so far I've never had any issues with sage being in there. I have bay. This one is really great for your hair. It can read a little masculine as far as the smell is concerned. I like the scent, but it is a little bit on the manly side, so you're gonna kind of want to be careful about how you use it if you're like really worried about smelling like a guy. But yeah, it's I guess you would describe it as a more musky kind of smell, but it smells sort of like fresh cut wood to me. It's a really nice scent. And this one is one of the ones that's kind of more of a base note, of a deeper scent. Same thing with the sage. And remember last time I was talking about how you kind of want to hit 3 points of your essential oils. So you have your high notes, your mid-range, and then you have your base notes. Next up we have pine. This one is another one that's just going to kind of wake up your scalp and your skin, and I think it smells really great. Kind of reminds me of the holidays, so this one's a really nice one. It hits a pretty high note, so it's going to be in that high note range. And then we have tangerine. Tangerine I put in there because I just absolutely love the smell of it. And it also pairs really well with that sort of vinegariness. So tangerine smells like fresh cut fruit. One of my favorite fruits, by the way. And that one's another one that's going to hit your high notes. So I have them arranged here from kind of high to mid-range to low notes. And that just depends on where the smell hits you. And this combination I like. It works really well, but you're going to want to play around and find ones of your own. And again, if your skin is sensitive, literally anything in the citrus family you want to be careful about, because for sensitive skin or for anyone who's going outside a lot and who's going to be in the outdoors, this can make you more sensitive to sunlight. Something to be cautious about. So now I'm going to add in all of these, and then the very last thing is going to be putting it into some bottles, and we're good to go. Alrighty, so I got the essential oils in there now, and the two that I put the most of are rosemary and peppermint, so those are going to kind of be my main scent components. I just really like the combination of the two. It's really bright and fresh. So I put 30 drops of each of rosemary and peppermint. And again, the recipe's going to be down in the comment section, so you'll be able to see it. And then I did 10 each of all the other ones. So 10 bay, 10 tangerine, 10 sage, 10 pine, 10 lavender. And I'm going to put in a little addition to mine that I don't necessarily recommend you do unless you are ready for the burn. I'm going to put some cayenne pepper into mine. Do not get this in your eyes if you put the cayenne pepper in, or it will burn like heck. It also will kind of burn on your skin a little bit. The reason I put it in there is because that burning brings blood to the surface, and it's really great if you're trying to promote some hair growth, and it's also just, you know, good to have fresh blood circulating the surface, but it burns and it will hurt. So just be ready for that. I'm using a 90,000 heat unit chili powder, so it's strong. I'm not going to taste any of this, but I'm going to do about a teaspoon worth, and that's for this entire bowl. It does not take much. Actually, I'm going to do a half teaspoon. It's pretty powerful stuff. So I'm going to do that. Boom. Right in there. And again, I do not recommend this if you have sensitive skin. It burns. It's chili pepper. You're putting it on your skin. But I do it for myself personally because I really want to have that extra just kind of skin enlivening that happens with the chili powder. But yeah, it burns. It does. I'm just okay with that. If you have little kids that are going to share the bath with you, probably want to leave this one out. Little kids will not take well to their skin burning. Alright, now we're going to start bottling it up, and as far as bottles go, I have a few different options. I basically take the labels off of all the bottles that I can and try to reuse them just to, make use of it so that it's not a one-time use plastic, so that it gets used multiple times. I have things like an old dish soap bottle. This one works really well because this squirt cap is helpful if you really want to get like right into the hairline or like get it underneath. Another one is old soap bottles. I have these lying around because I do end up buying a lot of Castile soap. Another one is an oil bottle. This one's great because it's actually got anti-UV components in the plastic itself. It's BPA free, but the anti-UV will result in less degradation of your product. So that's always a good thing to keep in mind. And again, I washed and reused all these, so I don't have to go out and buy myself new bottles. I've got them already there, and I'm saving one more bottle from going out into the environment. I wish I could save more, and I wish it were, even better, but it's a start. So what we're going to do is we are going to basically just pour it into there, and I have this little setup here with a funnel, and actually I'm going to use that one first. It's a little bit too small on the base. So I have a funnel, and I have this strainer bag right here. So you can see this one has been used quite a bit. This bag is awesome. I got them at the health food store. You'll probably want to get one of your own. It's like a muslin cloth bag. So you can see it's a really nice tight weave, and it is an amazing strainer. It works so well, and the great thing about it is that it is just washable, reusable, and it will strain out all the little bits that you want to get in there, because I put a lot of powders in there, and if you leave the powder in, you end up with basically dry powder in your hair, and don't really want that. So we're gonna make a little well into the funnel, drape that over the edges, and should be all good. Sometimes you're gonna have to go back and empty out whatever's in there, or you'll have to basically like try and strain it by hand. And that's another thing that makes these cloth bags really easy for, is straining by hand, because all you have to do is just cinch up the neck on it. It's got like a little drawstring, and then you can just keep twisting and twisting, and that'll help to get out all the excess. So now we're just going to give this one little mix and start adding it into our bottles. And it will take a little while to strain, especially when the cloth is dry, because now it's kind of soaking up some of the moisture. I will lose a little bit of the stuff to that, but should be fine, not a big deal. As you can see there, now I've got my Honey Vinegar Hair Rinse. So the only thing left after this to do is to take a shower, to try it out, and to get my hair behaving a little bit better. And thank you all for sticking with me on the journey. Again, the recipe is going to be down in the comment section below, and I'll be back whenever I have a chance to with more of this content, especially when we're all stuck at home during this pandemic, because I want to give people the chance to take their home beauty care and health care into their own hands, and making your own cleaning and house care products and body care products is a great start. So thanks all for hanging out with me on this journey, and I will see you again sometime soon. Hey everybody, a little bit of extra content for you. When I was straining out all of the kind of powders and stuff from the Honey Vinegar Hair Rinse, I had it sitting in a funnel with my strainer bag, and it was taking forever to strain, so I just figured, you know what, I'm done waiting. I'm going to take that strainer bag, and I took it and I just wrung it out. I got most of the moisture out that way. It worked really well. But I also had the unintended side effect of dyeing my hands yellow. So now it looks like I'm cosplaying as the emoji hands, like. Alright everyone, enjoy! Happy herb crafting. Maybe next time I'll wear gloves.